Alright, what's going on, team? Hope everyone's having a great start to their week. Just give me a second here per usual. Let me get the links out to people. Sorry I'm a little bit late. I lost track of time. There we go. Hopefully that's the right link. Testing. Testing. Nice. I hope there's not a delay like that. I guess not. About time. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's true. Good point. Thank you, Jesus, once again. Keeping us all here. Bringing us together for a great live stream. Hallelujah. Amen to that, brother. Alright, let me, I gotta do some tab management here, but we'll get started in no time. Let's get up the majors. I'm not talking about that. We can talk about this one, since we're up nicely. And this one. Not that one. This one. Damn, Jim got nuked out today. Not that one. We could peek at OXO. And I think that about does it. Yeah, I know how to do it. Alright, you guys know the drill. We'll give everyone a little bit here to tune in, and then we'll get started. Now it's legal. Yeah, alright, bet. By the way, and I'll ask this again later on in stream when everyone's here, but do you guys prefer music or no music in the background? Like a little bit of music, none? Because I've always wanted music, but I was watching my buddy Loma's stream recently, and I gotta say, I don't really find the music that helpful. It kind of distracts. Like, it's like a nice vibe, you know, there's always something going on in the background, even when it's quiet, but like, it was kind of distracting, I'll be real. But I say that as someone who's always wanted music, but whenever I ask, people are like, nah. Because, you know, it's like, oh, well, you know, when there's no music and you're not talking, it's just silence. But at the same time, when you are talking, which most of the time I'm talking, and there's in the background, it's like, I don't know, it just kind of distracts. No music better, yeah. Okay. Super quiet or none, alright. Okay. Excuse me. For these type of streams, like no music, yeah. Yeah, yeah, if I did anything, it would be like really ambient, low key, for sure. But I guess we'll just take no music. I keep hoping everyone's gonna be like, music, bro, for sure. But in reality, I just don't think music's the move. Oh, I think I forgot to tweet it out. I guess we'll tweet out. All right, I'm about to go tweet out. We're live, y'all. Go retweet it. Spread the word. See if we can get a few extra people in here. I just pulled up Twitter. It seems everyone on Twitter is talking about whether or not $10 million is a lot of money again. Gosh. I guess that means we're topping out for a while. Good Lord. I get the idea. I mean, 10 million. I mean, if you're not investing it, 10 million might not last you your entire life. And, you know, if you're like me, I'm not trying to have enough money just for my life. I'm trying to have enough for my kids' lives, maybe their kids, you know, generational wealth type shit. And in that line of thinking, 10 million is not enough to just stop. But holy crap, people, $10 million is an insane amount of money. Like, I just can't believe people are really having this conversation. Oh, my goodness. If we hit 100x, then gigs beats. All right, bet. Bet. Happy Monday. Happy Monday, Hooch. Happy Sunday for those of us. It's still Sunday. $2 million, I'm out for good. Real talk, dude. I mean, I think most people will be pretty happy making 6 figures, let alone having $10 million. Thing is, if you live anywhere like America, dude, you make 10 million, great. You get 6 of it, which is pretty nice. And then when you spend it, you get taxed like 9% or whatever. So 5 million. And then you take out you know, you got to pay taxes on that. And then if you take out cash to pay those taxes, you get taxed on that. And you got to pay more taxes. It's just like the tax situation is kind of a shit show. So that like 10 million is really only like 4 million. Which is not a lot of money, guys, right? 4 million is not a lot of money, right? And since 4 million is not a lot of money, maybe someone would be willing to give me like $4 million. I don't know. It's a weird world we live in, people. Yeah, hold on a second. Dang it. All right, we got 19, 20 people in here. Well, you guys already know the drill, right? We keep it simple, consistent. We're going to look at Bitcoin. It's boring, whatever. We got to look at Bitcoin. It dictates the market. Maybe we'll peep over, see what stocks are doing, look at the dollar. Maybe some high caps if you guys want to look at that stuff. I know some people want to look at Solana. Maybe we'll look at XRP. Finally, something worth looking at. And then we'll get into our kind of public low caps. And then something new. And I'm going to start doing this every week. I meant to start last week, but I kind of forgot. We're going to cut stream. All right. And then we're going to relaunch it just for Blockcircle members. And we can talk more about our more recent calls, you know, stuff that's not really public yet. So for those of you guys that are in Blockcircle, don't be talking in the chat about the super recent plays, you know, keeping it on the DL. All right? You know what I'm talking about. Bitcoin's not boring into the market. Facts. Well, it can be both. But yes, true. Oh, I appreciate it, Plaza. It's because you're sweet, brother. All right. Let's go ahead and get into this. So there's really not much to say that's going to differ from last week on BTC, unfortunately. It's been the same thing for months now, right? We're still just diddling around the lows from 2021. Not really any serious trend direction. If we had to pick a trend, obviously, this is the main trend right now, right? We're in an intermediate term uptrend. People want to say, oh, bull market or bear market. Well, we're in an uptrend. Right? That's all that really matters. Sure, maybe a bigger picture downtrend inside of a bigger picture uptrend, but all that matters for us near term is that we're in an uptrend. Okay? We don't got to overcomplicate it. So, ideally, we're looking to be on the long side. Sure, if you want to take some swing shorts into the highs, whatever, I think it makes sense. I'm not really trying to nail it on the short side. I might risk 1% or 2% here and there, but in general, as long as we're in an uptrend and we're trending above this monthly 8 EMA, we want to be trading on the long side, okay? It's going to be the easier trades. You're probably going to make more money that way. And then if we lose the 8 EMA, we can look to play on the short side a little bit more aggressively. But for now, makes sense to be on the long side. Or maybe you want to do pairs trading. You know, you could be long BTC, short Ethereum, depending on how ETH BTC looks, something like that. But excuse me. For the most part, I think we want to be trading on the long side now. Now, I will say that this monthly cycle is getting pretty extended here. In times of extreme exuberance, we know that that cycle can stay high for a long period of time. But in general, when we get up here, we should expect a bit of a pullback, you know, at some point in 2023. I'm not sure, you know, even if we stay super extended, we probably get a pullback by the end of the year. That's what I would say. And, you know, maybe even before, you know, October, we start to roll over. The big question is whether or not we get one more big pop before that happens, and I really don't know. Like I said, we're in the uptrend, so until we're not anymore, I would just keep playing on the long side. But keep in mind, you know, if you've made good money this year, we've had what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months of an uptrend. If you've made good money, make sure to pay yourself, right? Make sure you guys pay yourself. I've taken cash to the bank twice already this year, and I might even do it a third time. Make sure to pay yourself, okay? Always be taking profits, all right? And if you're like me and you got a bunch of bags booked for the long term, taking profits is easy. Since you have stuff you're in for the long term, when you take profits on other stuff, you don't got to be stressed about missing out as much because, you know, look, I got these long-term bags. If a year from now, everything's 1,000% higher, my long-term bag is going to be making me money. Maybe not all of them. You know, some of them are going to rug or underperform, whatever. But if you're smart and you pick good bags, you're probably going to be doing pretty well if the market rallies for the next year or whatever. And if you pay yourself and the market goes against what you're thinking, you know, oh, we're in a recession, or for the first time ever, we don't rally after the halving. It is possible, of course. Nothing is set in stone. If you're consistently paying yourself when you're profitable, you're not going to be as stressed out about, damn, my long-term bags are down, you know, but at least I paid myself, right? Versus if you're all in, you know, and it goes against your thesis, you're going to be tight and you're going to be wrecked. If you're super aggressive taking profits, you're only a little bit exposed to the market, or you're completely flat and things just keep ripping, no pullbacks, no significant pullbacks at least, you're going to get FOMO and you're more likely to make bad decisions and buy higher than you should. So I think there's always a good balance of holding some stuff for the long term at all times. Maybe not all times, but, you know, especially when we've had years of downtrend and we're starting to show some signs of recovery. It's definitely worth having stuff you're okay being exposed to for 6, 12, 18 months, such that when you want to be less exposed to the market, you're not going to be as likely to FOMO back in, because you've already got stuff that you're willing to hold for the long term, you know? It's all about that balance. Wise words, take profits. Absolutely. Absolutely. Always be taking profits, right? And just accept, if you're doing what I'm saying here, right? If you have long-term bags, you're going to make money if things go crazy, most likely. And accept, if things go crazy, you're going to sell lower than the top on a lot of stuff. It just is what it is. You know, if you take a bunch of profits in here and this happens again, you're gonna have sold way lower on stuff. Even if you made 10, 20x, if that stuff goes 100x, you're gonna have sold less, and it's okay. Because if before that you get this, you're gonna be pretty happy that you sold, or even if you just get this, right? And it's all about just being able to stay in the game, right? You want to ensure, no matter what happens a year from now, 2 years from now, you're still able to be in the game. You're still able to keep making money, right? Never try and do something or take a certain play that's going to cause you to risk your entire future of trading in a short period of time. I've done that. You know, back in 2020, I did that. Like, I had almost all my net worth in crypto, and I had 80% of my crypto in one project, in one low cap. And I lost almost all that in a week. If y'all remember Strong Gang, right? Strong looked like this, right? Like this, and then in 1 week, it was down 95%, and I had 80% of my net worth in at this average. Don't be like that. It's just ridiculous. I was very fortunate to not blow everything and make a, humbly, a sick comeback. But that definitely could have gone south. This all could have been over. Yep, exactly. The node project thing. I let my overconfidence get to me, and I just made a terrible decision, And it happens, right? It don't matter how long you've been trading, You're going to make bad decisions, but don't do something that's going to risk your entire career, right? I mean, it's kind of like a no-brainer, but, I just got a message today from a mate that was trying to turn it around and once again blew it all on leverage. And I really feel for the guy. Like, I've all but been there. And it's I don't know, it's hard, man. Like it is hard not just to come back, but to mentally commit again to like trusting yourself not to do that again, So just anyways, excuse me, enough psychology. Back into the analysis. Monthly, neutral to bullish, right? We're bullish on the intermediate term because we're in a intermediate term uptrend. Kind of neutral because our cycle's getting high. Momentum is kind of starting to wane, right? Not only are we kind of flattening, but we're also still on the negative side of things as far as momentum goes. So once we're trending above 0 on the CCI, things will be looking a little bit better. But for now, neutral to bullish, okay? Let's go into the weekly. Things look about the same on the weekly, right? This is very bullish. Well, I can't really show it because of the ticker, but let's do it this way. This is very bullish, right? Really nice candle, really nice setup on the weekly here. But now, things look a little, I don't like this weekly candle. Looking kind of gross. Momentum is also starting to flatline a little bit. The cycle's still rising, still got a ways to go, but, we can also roll over. Your cycle is not always going to ebb and flow to oversold, overbought, over and over. Sometimes you're going to fail at this general level, right? So things are looking kind of iffy. I could definitely see a pullback into the upper 20K range before seeing any kind of new highs. All right. So just stay away from leverage, guys. It's really not the time to be doing something like that unless you're risking 1 or 2% of the account. I think is reasonable. But for the most part, and for most people, just stay away from leverage, especially with how much money you can make just spot trading. It's really not worth it for the majority of market participants. But anyways, weekly we can see very clearly that the uptrend is still intact. Right? Ever since we broke out of this downtrend here, we're still making higher highs and higher lows. Right? Even here, we made a little bit of a higher high, albeit not by much. So our uptrend is still intact as long as we don't lose 25K. We lose 25K, we're losing horizontal support, and we're losing our weekly EMA support. And you can see it's a pretty big gap until any kind of support after that, both horizontal as well as moving average wise, pretty much down to 20K. Okay. So, and I know it's not that much for BTC, maybe 20% drop, but best believe if we get a drop like that on BTC, you're going to see minus 50%, 75% for all coins. For low caps, minus 90% potentially on some things. I mean, it'll get gross. So whether or not that's going to happen, I don't know. For now, we just play the trend that is, and for me, that means bidding pretty much all throughout here if we get a better dip. All right? And same thing goes in the daily. right? For now, as long as we can respect this 29.5 down to like 28.8K level, things look pretty good. Okay, anything below that, and we've got a pretty big gap down to the 200, as well as our horizontal support down here at 25K. So if you're, if you are choosing to trade on margin and all that stuff, I would definitely not want to be standing in front of the freight train if we start to break 28.8K. Okay, things are gonna be looking pretty gross. For now, though, what are we looking at, right? We're looking at pretty much a double range trade, right? We've got this range that we're in right now inside of the kind of bigger picture monthly range right here. Okay, so these are the ranges you're playing. If you're playing level to level, it makes sense to be long down in this region and be taking profits in this region. I mean, it's not rocket science, right? And then if you're trading on the near term, right, it's the same idea, pretty much a range trade. You want to be long at the lower end of the range and taking profits at the upper end of the range. I kind of scrubbed out recently, had a really nice long in here and totally whiffed it and did not take profits into the highs. I unfortunately went to sleep in here and should have cut the trade as we broke down here, but I woke up and we were here. So sadly ended up taking a break even on that one. Not my greatest trade, but it is what it is. Sometimes you whiff the bag. And now the 4 hour that was looking kind of clean before is starting to look a little bit iffy. It kind of reminds me of the price action after a DeFi summer. If you guys remember that all the way back here, right? We had, and I'm talking about like this general range here. They probably look more similar on the 4 hour. Let's check that out. So just consider what's happening now. Ooh, you know what we can do even? We can side by side this bad boy. Here we go. Let's turn off the momentum algorithm. Let's go look at some similarities to DeFi summer. Right? Still making higher lows, still making higher highs, but we're starting to chop. If we look at the EMAs, it's starting to look kind of iffy, right? There's no clear direction. EMAs roll over, they rolled back higher, they're rolling over again. Pretty much the same thing we're seeing in here at the end of DeFi summer, right? Rolls over, rolls back over, rolls over. Price action's looking kind of iffy. Very similar things, and then eventually the floor gave out, right? And I think the same thing could be happening here, which would indicate probably somewhere around 28K. Higher low, something like that. If we look at fibs, that's probably where the 61.8 is. 27.5 to 28.2K, something like that. I think that's a pretty reasonable range for a higher low. So if we get back to these levels, that's probably where the risk reward is going to be better for the longs. For now, it's just, I don't know. It's not that great, honestly. Like even the one I took here kind of just got lucky that we went back to the highs. Like, I don't know. It doesn't look so hot, especially when you're looking at the weekly. So I wouldn't be touching leverage, guys. If we get a flush like this, followed by a bottoming process, and for those of you guys that don't know, let's go ahead and get rid of the second chart. Bottoming process essentially is three things, right? 1, stop making lower lows. 2, begin to make higher lows. 3, begin to make higher highs. Nice and simple, right? And that's exactly, we'll go back to this real quick, exactly what happened when we rolled over after DeFi summer, right? We had a new downtrend. Here's your uptrend. Boom, lower high, lower low, new downtrend. Okay, you stop making lower lows. And keep in mind, guys, you're not going to know you stop making lower lows until you get some time spent consolidating. So at like this point, you're pretty confident we're not making lower lows anymore. We've got no lower lows. We got a higher low. And if we get above here, we've got higher highs. And that's exactly what happened. This was your main opportunity to start getting exposed on the long side. And check it out. It's essentially the same price range as if you bought before it rolled over. So there's no fear right now. Even if we roll over, if you just be patient, you'll probably be able to buy at the same prices we're at today if things start to look good again. The only fear is if we just do something like this, which sure, it's possible, but I don't think it's that likely. And if it does happen, we're going to be glad because we're exposed on spot positions. Simple as that. And if you get the nuke and you're not on leverage, you're not really going to care that much, you know? So anyways, not much more to say about BTC. It looks okay. As far as a month-to-month outlook, it looks pretty good. As far as the weekly goes, it looks kind of gross. I don't really like this set of candles here. It kind of indicates to me that we've done an over-under, right? And so now we're trending below the 8 EMA on the daily again. Likely that this will act as resistance. So our intermediate term trend is probably going to be something like this, I would imagine, right? And if we hold the range lows and we start to pop out of that little downtrend, maybe we get another shot at the highs. But if not, then we're going to get, we're going to get that intermediate term pullback back to like 27.5K or something, okay? So what does that mean for our spot positions, right? If you're up a lot on some of these low caps, maybe you want to be taking some profits, looking to add back to those if we get a dip back down here, leaving enough on the plate that if we just consolidate in here and we keep on ripping, that you're still going to make good money if we move higher, right? It's all a balancing act, and you have to accept you're not going to be perfect, right? If this happens, and you do this, and you took profits in here, you might not add back before it rips, and that's okay, right? As long as you're still exposed on the long side, you'll be good. And if this happens, and you've still got some spot bags, some of those are going to be down on those days, but the stuff you took profits on will also be down, right? And you'll have a chance to add back lower. Okay? Any questions about BTC or just overall strategy right now, market structure, all that stuff? We all pretty good on Bitcoin? Good morning, Tommy. Thanks for tuning in, brother. Glad to have you in the stream. So, yeah, as far as traders go, probably just continue longing this general range low, continue selling this range high. Swing traders, probably better to wait for a dip down here. This daily 200 is coming up around 26K right now. Ideally, I think the best trade if we get lucky is going to be this 61.8 fib. If that can meet with this 200 on the daily in like August, this would be the most ideal higher low. It might not be that perfect. It rarely ever is. But that would definitely be the most ideal. Less ideal, maybe if we go on a longer downtrend, like I said, the monthly cycle kind of looks like this right now, right? We're getting kind of extended. And we've talked about, that can stay extended for a while, but it can also roll over at pretty much any time. If we get that, we might get a bigger picture downtrend for the next couple months. Maybe Pi comes up and meets our monthly range low, and maybe sometime in September we'll hit 25K or something like that. I think that also makes plenty of sense. Okay, so plenty of good trades to be had on Bitcoin. It's just not the trades I really like to take. I'm not much of a range trader. It's not really my forte, if you will. But the same strategy we use for trading on the monthly, the weekly, and the daily, it all applies on the 4 hour, the 1 hour, even down to the 1 minute. Okay, so if you guys are day traders and you ever have questions about how my trading model works, always welcome to reach out, okay? Because the same strategies I use as far as, higher time frame monthly, medium time frame weekly, lower time frame daily 4 hour, the same thing applies on the 1 hour, 30 minute, 15 minute, 5 minute, 1 minute, right? You can trade them all the same way. And that's the best part about the model is it's applicable on every time frame for every style of trading. And across every market too. It works in Forex, it works in equities, it works fixed income, everything. So if you guys ever have questions on how to apply that to, your preferred way of trading, just hit me up. I'm in the Discord at all times. You can hit me up on Twitter too if you're not in Blockcircle, but as Blockcircle gets more and more populated, the time I'm going to have to commit to Twitter DMs and stuff, it's just, I'm only one guy, so I'm obviously going to give precedence to the people that are paying in Blockcircle. So if you guys want a piece of my time, you're going to have to pay for it. All right. What's good, Logan? Thanks for tuning in, brother. I'm doing absolutely splendid. Just opening water here. Sorry if that's loud. Ooh. About to get into some... Sorry. Taking a drink there mid-sentence. About to get into some low caps here. So, if you guys didn't catch what I said earlier in the stream, what we're going to start doing now for these streams is this. We're going to have 2 streams on Sunday. They're going to be back-to-back. Okay, it's going to be the same time frame as it was before. It's still going to be about 1 hour to 2 hours total stream time. But the first stream is going to be for everyone. It's going to be fully public. We're going to do the Bitcoin top-down. Maybe we'll look at some high caps, and then we're going to go through the low caps that have been performing well for us lately. And then we'll cut the stream. I'll immediately relaunch it privately, only for Blockcircle guys. And then we can talk about some of the more recent trades that we're doing. Stuff that we're kind of not sharing on Twitter yet, kind of keeping it private. And maybe we can talk about some of your guys' suggestions too, do some Q&A. Stuff like that. I definitely want to give precedence to the Blockcircle guys because, they're paying members and we only have so much time. So, yeah, if you guys have any high caps, any charts you want me to look at, feel free to post them in the chat. I'll get to as many as I can. And, and then in a little bit we'll cut stream and then we'll restart the Blockcircle stream. Oh, it's gonna be right after this one, probably in about 15-20 minutes. I'll cut this stream and then immediately I'll relaunch it and I'll post in the Blockcircle Discord. I'll post the link and you guys can tune right back in and it should be pretty seamless. It's either that or we only stream for Discord guys or we only stream everything publicly. And if we're streaming everything publicly, it's just, I don't know. There's a lot of alpha on the stream, right? From me and from you guys. And it just doesn't make sense to share that with everyone when we've got paying members, right? So, we want to respect everyone's time, respect everyone's money, and all that good stuff. So, let's go ahead and let's talk about some of the winners that we've had in Blockcircle the last few months because it has been a crazy, crazy year. I know for a lot of people that have been trading some of this stuff, like if you look at Chainlink, it hasn't really been that great of a year. If you look at where like some of these high caps opened up, they started the year... Chainlink, for example, at 680. Where's Chainlink right now? 660. It's not even up on the year. It looks terrible. Meanwhile, Blockcircle guys have had an explosive OXO trade rolled into an explosive Unibot trade. If you guys aren't familiar, and I don't know how you couldn't be if you follow me, but we were in OXO since down here. And then basically sold the top in here, which of course the top is temporary. OXO probably goes higher. But in the meantime, while it's gone sideways, we bought Unibot at $3 to $4, been riding that all the way to 60, still rocking 60% of my size personally. We've had Tigris since I'm in from like $1 to $2, bought some more at $3, $4, even bought some more at the 6s. Had some opportunity in here. I know some guys bought from like 2 to 5. My size, personally, I was okay with it, so I did not average down at all because my size was already pretty big, and I wasn't so confident that we wouldn't dump any further, so didn't touch that more. But regardless, rolled more OXO profits into this. That's been explosive. Ka in from back here. Really great trade. SmartX, we're in from back here. Really great trade. This is one of our more recent winners. in from like this general range in here. I know some guys may be in from up here. Another great trade. Genie, not an official Blockcircle trade, but I can't remember who. I think Uncle was the one who mentioned it in the Discord, and that was back at like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure this is my candle right here, back here in 2 to 3s or something like that. But I think he mentioned it somewhere over here. I can't remember. That's the thing. If you're in Blockcircle, it's not just about me in there, man. There are people sharing some crazy trades, like 10x's every other day. And let's be honest too, if you're in Blockcircle, guys, you gotta take everything with a grain of salt. Don't just ape something because one person mentions it in the Discord, because it is what it is, right? Some people are just posting there because they want you to buy their bags, right? And they may not always be with the best intentions, okay? So always take stuff with a grain of salt, right? Do your own research. But there's been plenty of times in the Discord, I mean, I've missed dozens of killer trades in there because I just can't keep up. I mean, there's so many trades to be had and people are just destroying it. So Blockcircle's just got so much value, and it's not just about me in there. I mean, you guys are posting as much value as I am. But anyways, yeah, Genie, another great trade. In the last week, 1,000% gains or more. Jim, I think I called Jim back here at like the 8s or 7s or something like that, and that made another 1,000% in the last month. It's been pretty crazy, honestly. And there's other plays that have done pretty well too that I'm probably forgetting about. And of course, there's been plays that haven't done well. You know, we don't only take winners, but because we have relatively low risk, 1%, 0.5%, 2%, 3% to every investment, I don't know about you guys, but for me at least, the winners have dramatically outperformed the losers. And I hope it's the same for you guys, but we've had an absolutely amazing year. I mean, it has been so crazy. Which brings me back to my previous point, guys. Make sure you're taking profits. When you get price action like this, make sure you're taking profits. Because we all know, sure, this can end up looking like this, right? Maybe someday this chart looks like this, right? And we're up here somewhere. But this chart could also be something like this, right? And that's a poor scaling, but maybe something more like like that, right? And you might not want to be holding the entire bag all the way back down from the 8s to the 1s, right? So be sure you're taking profits, guys. Okay, it's not the end of the world if you take profits and it keeps going up, as long as you're not always going all in, all out. And that's a lot of people's biggest problem. They miss out because, you know, they buy here and then they sell here. And that's it. That's it. One trade, in and out. Versus it really could be, you know, maybe you buy some here, maybe you buy some here, maybe you buy some here. Maybe you're not buying the bottom, maybe you buy some more here. Maybe you sell a little bit here. Maybe you buy a little bit more back here. Sell some more here, maybe you sell some more here, maybe you sell some more here. I don't know. Maybe you buy some back, right? You're trading it around. Thus that you're making money, but you're never risking the entire bag. And I'm not trying to lecture or anything. I've round trip stuff, you know, just like everybody else, but as long as you're being reasonably consistent and you're not risking more than you can afford to lose, you should be long-term profitable. And in Blockcircle, we are very much long-term profitable. I was actually making a list with Basil. I can't remember. It was maybe a month or two ago, and it was just reminding me how many insane plays we have had the past 5 years. I mean, it was just mind-blowing because, you know, you get so caught up in the short term of like, wow, OXO was a crazy banger. And people also remember Spell and Woo Trade, right? Those are kind of our biggest trades ever in Blockcircle. Woo Trade, Spell, and OXO. But in between those, I mean, there have been countless bangers. I mean, I can't even list them all if I wanted to. But gosh, it's just been crazy. I mean, if you guys remember Rook and MPH and Maple, and I mean, I'm not even, there's just dozens of plays we've had that have been absolutely amazing. So if you guys are not in Blockcircle, you are missing out. And the counter to that, people want to say, oh, well, there's so much free content out there. There is a lot of free content out there, and there's a lot of free noise out there. Okay, and if you're tuning in to just free content, there's a lot of it. There is a lot of free content. I look at a lot of free content. Why wouldn't you? It's free, right? And for me, and it's not the same for everyone, but for me, if something's free, I'm a lot less likely to pay attention to it, funny enough, because I know it's free. You know, I can tune in whenever. If I just want to piss off for a couple months and check it later, I'll piss off for a couple months, check it later. But if I'm paying for something, I'm in there every day. You know, I'm trying to get my money's worth, right? Which naturally makes me more active, right? And more focused in what I'm doing. And the guys that paid for Blockcircle, they're active. You know, the guys that have been in there for years, they're kicking ass, right? And those are the guys also now that they're posting killer trades that I don't even got time for, right? So if you're not in Blockcircle, guys, you're honestly, you're doing yourself a disservice, because we're kicking ass and we're not stopping anytime soon. So make sure to get in there if you're not in there. That's the end of my little spiel on that, but you're going to want to be in there. So you guys got any charts you want me to look at before we roll over to... Hold on. Alright, give me a second. I hear my cats getting into some shit. 1 second, fellas. What's going on out here? Yeah, what's going on out here? I hear you. There we go. You guys are standing here. Gotta love animals, man. Always finding something to get into. Hey, relax back there. Always fighting too, my goodness. I remember Plaza wanted to look at Solana. Let's peek over at Solana. I'm thinking we'll look at Solana. We'll look at XRP. We'll go take a brief look at all these low caps that we talked about earlier. And then we'll roll over to Blockcircle stream and we can look at some of the new stuff we've been talking about. Because there's a lot of new bangers I'm really liking. Some of which are already performing well. Alright. Let's go look at Solana. So Solana's actually had a pretty good month. I mean, one of the few high caps that is actually up on the year. Starting the year around $10. Sitting at almost $30 now. Wow, I didn't realize it hit over $30. That's crazy. Probably stopped around Pi. Even made it through Pi on the daily. Sheesh. Alright, homie. Thanks for tuning in, Logan. I appreciate you. Definitely catch the VOD of the second stream. Got plenty of good stuff to talk about there. But, yeah, Solana looking pretty juicy, honestly. I mean, I don't know if I'd want to be a buyer up here per se, you know, but what, $12 a month ago, sitting at almost 30 now? Pretty good swing trade. I'm going to be real. I didn't catch any of this because I don't really care to trade Solana that much, but, you know, actually looks pretty good comparatively to a lot of other stuff. So, you know, I'd say if you could catch a buy in like the low 20s, probably going to be worth the bid. You know, at the least, you know, you could probably catch a nice trade like this. Right? Something like that. And then look to sell somewhere in here. Because, you know, if we get a trade like this, we're going to be in a new downtrend, right? If we break down here and we do something like this, that's a downtrend. So if you buy that, you're kind of looking to sell the next lower high, which would likely be somewhere mid-20s. But you can still bang out a good 4 to 6 times your risk if you catch a nice snipe down here low 20s. Okay, so I think that's the best trade. It's more long-term. Yeah, that's true. If you're looking long-term for Solana, I mean, the upside could be pretty massive, right? If you can get an average anywhere in the 20s, upper teens would be great. I think come next year, you're going to have a good chance to sell up towards $100. I don't know if this will ever make new highs again. Personally, I don't know if Solana has much of a lasting effect. I really don't know. But, you know, if we go into a crazy bull run, then yeah, maybe we can make new highs. But at the least, I think you're going to see a good, 3 to 5x on Solana in the coming year. Something like that. So I think it's good. It's just not my preferred trade. Everyone's asking, what's the next Solana, right? What's the next big L2, L1 trade? And I don't really think it's going to be L2s or L1s. I think they're going to run. I think they'll run with the best of them. Solana, AVAX, Optimism, Matic. I think that stuff's going to run fine. But I just think there's going to be better trades to be had. If you're looking for something reasonably safe, I think being long Solana in this region going into the end of the year and looking to sell somewhere up here next year, I think it'll be a pretty good trade. You'll probably outperform Bitcoin at the least. You might outperform Ethereum too, maybe. But I don't think it's going to do anything mind-blowing. I think what everyone's hoping for Solana is that it's going to do something like this, right? Everyone's thinking, well, some stuff looks like this and then it does this. Maybe, right? It's like, I don't think it's that likely. I don't think Solana's going to see, hundreds of X's returns again. And maybe I'm wrong. I'm willing to accept I could be wrong, but I just don't think it's going to go that crazy. I think it's kind of had its time to shine, but I think you'll see a good 4 to 5x. Moving over to XRP. I mean, what a crazy candle. Dang, it's already retraced pretty significantly, but I'm not super sold on XRP as like an investment by any means. I just don't think it's really worth being in for the long term. I don't think there's much value in it, but you can't deny that's a damn nice candle. Yeah, so it's probably worth trading around. If anything, this will be the new range for XRP. So if you can get some bids like 50 to 60 cents, you're probably going to have a good chance to sell back up here by the end of the year. That'd be my bet. I don't know if I'll ever end up trading this one. It's just not my kind of trade. But I do think this is going to be a pretty favorable trade, right? If you get a bid, even maybe just low 60s, maybe something like this, right? You'll probably have a chance to sell back up towards 80, 85 cents or something in the next month or two. But I love you, buddy, but I can't see if you're in the middle of my screen, sir. I know, buddy. Oh. Don't be such a baby. Come on now. More of a safe option to put into profits. Yeah, for sure. I would rather put my profits into Ethereum or Bitcoin, but I think Solana is also a pretty good one to put into. And like I said, we'll probably outperform Bitcoin and maybe Ethereum. Let's look at, actually, that's a good idea. Let's look at Sol. How do we do this? Sol USDT over ETH USDT. Is that what we're looking for? So Solana has been outperforming Ethereum pretty nicely, at least in the last month. Let's look at it over the long term. Over the long term, it has not outperformed Ethereum very well. But I do believe that versus Ethereum, Solana is basing, and come next year, it will likely outperform Ethereum eventually, at least for a period of time. So I think it's reasonably safe to put your money into Solana. It's just not my favorite kind of play. Okay. It just depends on how you want to play it, right? I'd much rather be trying to get bags of future blue chips than past blue chips, right? But to each their own. We'll look at Velo. I've seen people talking about that. I know a lot of projects are trying to fork and do stuff like that. Let's see what Velo actually looks like. I've never really looked at that chart. Velodrome. Excuse me. Is this the most history 1 year, 1 month? It looks like it. Let's check it out. Oh, wow. That's nice. Whoa, wow. This is really nice. This has had a really good year. 2 cents, 20 cents. Nice 1,000% move. Now it's looking to base. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I don't know if I'd really want to be long at the top of the range that it's in. I think naturally you're going to rather be long somewhere down here. Okay, but, you know, I guess by the breakout, right? Maybe it breaks out. I don't know, but what I don't like, hold on, okay, yawn. I don't like that it's a $130 million market cap and has no liquidity. I'm guessing liquidity is mainly on centralized exchanges. Ooh, it's not even on Binance. Yikes. Oh, it's $20 million market cap. Huh. Well, which one is it, lads? Is it $20 million or is it $130 million? And this says 130 for fully diluted, but this says 60 for fully diluted. Huh. Well, whichever one it is. Wait. Oh, I opened the wrong field. I'm about to say. Here we go. I was about to say, that was looking kind of rough. Oh, it's migrated. Okay. That's better. Market cap 16 mil. Okay, that makes more sense. That makes more sense. Even then, though, 500K for $20 million is not great, but it's not bad. It's not that bad. So. At the least, it does look like a pretty good chart. You know, you're still in this downtrend until you can kind of crack above like 15 cents, but it's showing a lot of strength lately. Really good volume coming in relative, at least relative to the near term. Kind of weak volume relative to the last few months, but that's to be expected when a chart like this is in kind of a cool down phase. It reminds me a bit of the Nerf chart though, which is not that great, but it did the kind of the same thing where it had this big move up, consolidation, and then it popped hard, and then it came back to the lows. And I think you could definitely see something like that happen for Velo. I do need some sleep. Yeah, I've been up since like 5 p.m. yesterday. So I've been up like 24 hours. I've gotten like 10 hours of sleep the past few days. It's been bad. I can't wait to sleep like 12 hours straight tonight or something. Oh gosh. There's just been so much going on in my IRL as well as crypto that it's been hard to stay awake. It's been hard to sleep. With alpha, alright, yeah, well, okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go through really quickly each of the big winners here, and then we're gonna close it down and we're gonna get into some of the new stuff. Okay, so really quickly, Unibot. Do we have people in here that have been riding this? I mean, we've been in since $3 to $4, so I hope that there's been some other guys that have been riding this with me, but it's been crazy. I mean, the returns have been wild. I mean, rolled over a 100x on OXO into 20x on Unibot for basically a 2000x now overall. I mean, come on. Can you really ask for much more? Like, just absolutely insane. And dare I say, she still got some gas in the tank. I mean, the interest on this coin is just, I mean, unbelievable, honestly. I mean, not really. It's believable because the project is amazing. I don't know if you guys have also used it, but I just started using Unibot in the past couple of weeks, and it is splendid. Like, there have been so many times, I know you guys feel this, you've tried to sell something on Uniswap and transaction failed. Swap failed. Swap error. Gas error. You know, it just over and over, like you're trying to sell, and then someone else can sell for some reason. You know, you're trying to sell right here. Someone else is able to come in and sell. And then finally, Uniswap, oh, now Uniswap's going to let you sell 20% down from the highs. It makes no sense, right? But if you click sell on Unibot, she's gone, right? It'll sell for you. And I love that. It's so simple. It's so easy. It makes sense. It's all in one place. I love it. They got a web app coming soon. They've got partnerships out the ass. They recently partnered with CoinGecko. I'm not talking about listed on CoinGecko. They straight up partnered with it. So when you see, like, you know, places to trade, Unibot is going to be on here soon. And I think that is so sick. They're going to have another partnership soon. I don't know if I can talk about it yet, but they're going to have another one. It's going to be even better. It's just, yeah, exactly. It's a future blue chip. Like, no doubt in my mind, by the top of this bull run, 2024, 2025, there's a good chance this hits $1 billion. I'm not even kidding. And $1 billion for this is $1,000 Unibot. So if you guys think you've missed out, maybe you missed out in the near term, right? You know, there's probably going to be a period of time where Unibot does something like this, right? For months. But eventually, I don't see a way it does not make higher lows and continue up towards hundreds of dollars. I mean, I don't really see a way around it. It's just so good. So, for those of you that are in, I mean, what can I say? It's been a run. I would definitely have at least de-risked your initial. You know, if you're in later, I see some guys in from $30. You know, power to you. If you don't want to de-risk on the 2x, I get it. You know, I think you're going to have a better chance to sell higher anyways, but if you're in from lower, even $10, I'm sorry, guys, I can't help it. I'm trying to not yawn, but my goodness. If you're in from like the $10 range, it's probably worth at least taking out your initial by now. Just in case it goes down or sideways for a while, you can at least be glad that it's a free bag, you know? Started using it recently. It's fantastic. It really is. I can't believe I put off using it for so long because it's just amazing. Is there a dummy book on how to use Unibot? I'll have to ask. I don't know if they have tutorials out yet. I think they do, but I'll ask. I'm pretty tight with the main dev, so I'll see if we can get some tutorials going. Been praying for a pullback to add. Me too, brother. Everyone has, and that's why it keeps going up because everyone wants a big pullback, and you see what happens. You get a big pullback, and it's just sniped immediately. People are sniping Unibot with Unibot. I mean, how cool is that? And yeah, exactly, Manuel, the people that aren't in or are in small size, they're just feeling pain because they've watched it since single-digit dollars, and it's just not stopping. Their YouTube has tons of tutorials. Well, there you go, Plaza. They're way ahead of you. Check out Unibot on YouTube. I guess they got tutorials. Good Lord, my apologies, but it's really not that difficult. I mean, if you're familiar with crypto, I don't think it's that difficult to pick up. So if you have a tutorial to help you, it's going to be cake. But we can talk more about it. Let's go ahead and try and get through these so we can get over to the Blockcircle stream. Next up, Tigris. I mean, what a comeback, guys. We had all this talk about, you know, it's going to be selling all the way into August. I honestly thought it was going to be a really rough month. But, you know, I guess people front ran this idea that it was going to be selling all of July. And here we are, $2 to $13 in a week. And really, like, in 4 days. I mean, how sick is that? I know one guy on Blockcircle bought at $2.30. How about that? The Pico bottom. What a Chad. So, this is probably I wouldn't say my favorite, my second favorite bag right now. Behind Unibot, I think Tigris is my biggest bag, dollar-wise. But I think Unibot's still my favorite. But I am so confident. $6 million for this is a joke. Their platform is really solid. They're constantly updating it. The progress has been immense. The APY is changing a lot because of how their stablecoin vaults work and how that allocates fees to TIG versus TIG USD. But regardless, I'm still getting consistently 10, 20, sometimes even 30 to 50% APY on my TIG with no lockup, which I think is absolutely fantastic. So, I genuinely think we're going to see this move towards $100 in the next year. So I'm holding onto this one with diamond hands. And then Tropica, the chart's kind of getting a little bit crazy here, swinging between $1 and $1.70 like it's nothing. And that's because the team is playing liquidity games, man. You can see that we've got 1.5 million Ka pooled and only 140k USDT. And this number changes a lot because the LP is dynamic. So it's making for a really cool chart. And this is another one that at $2 million market cap, I think is just an absolute steal for the long term. I think if you're comfortable holding something like this for a while, and if you want some GameFi exposure, I think Ka is going up to $10+, like no problem. I think it's a really solid project, and you know, if you've been following us on this, we've been in from 40, 50, 60 cents, so it's already been a pretty nice trade, but really solid. I really like what the team's doing here. I think we're in for a treat, if you will. Got a bridge to ARB. Been procrastinating. Oh, dude, yeah, I know. I always forget to have money on ARB. TIG APY is 10% as a few hours ago. Well, there you go. Free 10%, and it's paid in stable coins. Couldn't really ask for much more than that. Up next, we got SmartDex, which is another really cool project. Also has a really great chart. I kind of missed the initial push from the 2s up to the 4s, but I stopped being a baby. I aped in the 4s, and it's been a nice 2x so far. If you guys aren't familiar with the project, they are a decentralized exchange, and they currently offer, as far as I know, the best rates for your majors like Ethereum, stablecoins, and stuff across any platform. Like, I think they blow Uniswap out of the water. You're gonna get better rates there for sure. And overall, I mean, look at the volume lately. The volume speaks for itself. The selling is minimal. The buying's massive. 100 buys, 30 sells. It's essentially up only. I think $50 million is cheap for this. Genuinely, I think this is going towards $500 million in the next year or so. So that's another big play. Mix to earn. This is one of our more recent additions, and bought in on this. You can see this is the Blockcircle candle right here. And I tell people, you know, you got to be responsible, right? You know, it's not always the best move to ape right when I mention it, because everyone's trying to ape at the same time. A lot of times it's better to buy the pullback after the cool off, because you got to think the people that aren't in Blockcircle, when they see this, a lot of them are going to sell. They're not seeing Blockcircle buying. They don't know it's just, you know, a lot of us getting into it. They're just seeing a big price increase and they want to take some profits. So often the better play is to just maybe nibble when it's mentioned and then try and catch a pullback if you can. Sometimes you're even going to get a better price than I do. Sometimes you're not. It is what it is. But yeah, it's a pretty cool mixer project. I've seen a lot of Tornado Cash guys starting to buy into this, so I think there's a lot of upside. I'm looking for, you know, $5 to $10 million for this one. So maybe like, you know, 4 to 5, not cents, but whatever it is, 4,000 to 5,000. What is a fifth of a cent or something like that? Or half a cent, I guess that would be. But yeah, really cool project here. Already seen a nice 6, 12, 18, like a 3x so far. So pretty cool. Pretty happy with how that one's turned out. Genie, not an official Blockcircle trade, but it was mentioned in there, and I picked some up. You know, already up in the last week, 1,500%. I mean, come on. Absolutely insane. The volume, again, speaks for itself. 406 buys, only 200 sells. The people want the Genie. And it's a really cool dApp. I love how it works. It's kind of potentially replacing mods and telegrams, right? You can ask it things, it can say things. It's kind of like chat GPT-esque, if you will. Which coin is this one? It's called Genie. Can you guys see on the... It's not a delay like that. Oh my gosh, that is terrible. Is that really how I sound? Holy crap. Yeah, it says the ticker on the top left. We're looking at Genie here. Unibot. Really cool one. Have you mentioned opportunity you're using the collateral for yet? No, actually. That's not going to be anything in Blockcircle. That's a separate like equity deal I'm working on. Not something I'm unfortunately able to share with Blockcircle. But yeah, I didn't even really want to close out that trade, but honestly, looking back, I think it's the right choice. I do think Bitcoin is in for a bit of a pullback, chop fest, you know, probably something like this at the least. Yeah, no, so unfortunately I won't be able to mention that trade in Blockcircle, just something that I got going on the side equity-wise. But yeah, so Unibot, super great coin, still holding a big portion of my size. I sold out a good chunk at like 2.9-ish or something, thanks to Unibot. I was having problems selling on Uniswap, so I sent it to my Unibot wallet and I had no problem selling there. And then Gem, also insane trade on Gem. You know, made the call for that back here. Saw a nice 10x on that in the last month or so. Really great returns. I've already taken plenty of profits. Kind of just holding a moon bag now. Actually, I think I have maybe... Let me see. I think I have about 30% or 25% of my size left on this one. Still rocking a good bag, but... you know, it's a meme coin, so I'm not really putting too much behind it. It's already hit like $20 million, so that's kind of enough for me on meme coins. If it goes harder, it goes harder. I've still got a bag, but for the most part, extremely happy with the 10x on that. OXO, you already know. That's a nice rhyme. I do think that OXO in the next month or two is probably going to run the highs. So for those of you that are in on that, I do think you'll have a chance to sell 10 cents again. Outside of that, guys here will ape with you. The company's public. Yeah, unfortunately, it's just not an opportunity where other people can ape with me. There's very, very limited allocation. It's kind of a friends and family thing. So between me and my partner that's got me in on it, there's just not going to be any room. And it's also just, it's not something that legally I can really share in Blockcircle. You know, I had to be really cautious with stuff like that when there's SAFs and all that stuff. So is what it is. But I think now I'm going to go ahead and roll over into the Blockcircle stream. So if you guys are in Blockcircle, just keep your eye on the trades channel or the live stream channel. It'll be in the next like 2 minutes. You know, I'm just going to close it down, switch it to private, and then immediately restart it, and we can look at some of the more recent stuff and maybe look at some low cap recommendations if you guys have any or anything you want to look at, okay? like Bitcoin 2.0 Plaza. We'll look at that on the Blockcircle stream. But for those of you that aren't in Blockcircle, I strongly urge you to get in there. I mean, the value is absolutely immense for $99 a month. I mean, you're just, you know, you're doing yourself a disservice if you're not in there. So, but even if you're not in there and you don't join, I appreciate you tuning in to stream. I really do value everyone that comes in here. I mean, it means a lot to me that you guys are willing to tune in. So thanks much to you. If you guys are not in here, I'll post a link in the chat here real quick. And we'd love to have you. All kinds of good stuff going on in there. Thoughts on the impact of XRP decision? I mean, from my point of view, dude, if XRP is not a security, what is a security? Like, I mean, I see in no way that it's not fantastic news that XRP is not a security. I mean, that is a very good sign for cryptos across the board, honestly. So anyways, give me a second to switch over to the private stream, and I will see you guys over there in just a couple of minutes, all right? I appreciate you all. See you soon.